Yeah.
I love when Foxy does the intros. Like whenever it's one thing. It's one thing that really amuses me whenever you're doing the We Try episodes with yourself and Anya, and like Foxy's doing this like at like obviously like either like evening whatever it is when he's just very clearly tired. So you'll have this kind of thing, and this is how professional he is, because he'll have like he's tired going. Hey everybody, welcome to Foxy's We Try.
That's not even a joke.
It's just like
the last 4 episodes that I've sent to him.
Yeah.
And I did one back to back, and you can see it in the pre-edit.
It's the tiredness. It's the fucking
That's legit how I feel every morning before I log on to my work computer.
Hello and welcome back to the Nerdzos channel on YouTube. We are back with a brand new show that we're testing out for you today. Whether you like it is a different story.
We do, so we don't care. I say we, me and Foxy like this one.
You say it like it's just for your amusement. No,
it is kind of.
It is kind of for your amusement.
It is for
well, sorry, I rephrased that. Yes, it is for our amusement. But yes, the brand new show that we're working on is called Finally on the Record. And basically this is being treated almost like a game show. Almost.
Or a game of top trumps.
Yeah, that'd be the best way to explain it. The host picks a subject and the other competitors list off their stories or stories they know of related to that topic, and I'll award points throughout the episode. And the winner with whoever has the most points by the end of it wins, and they get to host the next episode, and they get to choose the subject. But with this going forward, the first topic.
We should clarify, you are hosting this first episode.
Yeah,
so
that's why no way.
It wasn't explained, yeah.
That's why he did the intro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, I think.
I know that was implied, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when the
Jonathan hasn't
intros,
spoken in quite some time, so he needed to get his voice in.
I felt like I wasn't getting enough airtime, so
That's legit what it was. I know, because I do the same thing sometimes. I feel like I haven't said anything.
I haven't said anything in a full minute. People might think I'm gone.
But anyway, with this first episode, I'm going to be deciding the topic, and the topic for this episode that you will all have to wow me over will be nostalgia. So, everyone has experienced nostalgia. Like, everyone has it for something. But
trying to put it into a story is going to be quite difficult.
That's tricky.
It doesn't have to be a story. It just, if it can wow me or have me interested, I will award points. If I don't like it, I'll take points
when
away.
you walk into Mr. Sim's old sweet shop and you see that pack of Hubba Bubba or the milk teeth. Oh my god, when you walk in and you find those proper milk teeth.
There you go, 2 points for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Give you a scoreboard.
It's like an internal scoreboard, I think.
Yeah. Or it could have more work for you and just like you edit in a score point like here.
I like the way you looked at me when you said edit in. You. Edit in.
Shit.
You can if you want.
This is just them getting back at you subtly now for pouring out.
He poured my gin into the sink. He
Yes.
actually physically, and he did it in front of me.
It's one of those things where you
He
just
made me watch.
No.
So I'm very angry at Jonathan right now. I have a smile on my face, but I've literally
I know. Amy's on our angers when she's smiling.
I've murdered him like 8 different times in my head over it. Oh
yeah. Amy's
that's
secretly
nostalgic
dying
for me.
inside.
Just watching you die, just for pouring gin out into the sink. Nice gin
It's
too.
like it's nice that you kind of go. You haven't really recovered from it. I know it's only happened like 5 minutes ago, but it's still.
Yeah, he expects me to build a bridge very quickly.
Yeah.
What brings you nostalgia?
Does bring nostalgia. Like
Who wants to go first?
I think I technically did.
you did kind of go first there. Well, here's one for you then, right? Because I
I
know.
don't care. That's 2 points in the bank.
So, I'm gonna play this art a little bit here with Foxy, right? Because I know he does like his consoles, his games, right?
Oh, playing up to the fucking host.
I am. I'm gonna play up to the host. I'm gonna play.
That's the aim of the game.
That's the aim of the game, yeah. So I'll have.
Be careful there. Your nose is getting a little bit brown.
It is a little bit, yeah. It smells a bit weird up here, like But in any case, back. I'll tell you.
Never go asked to math.
I was waiting. Amy, you get a point for that. There you go.
Bonus round, yeah.
So topping the judge, there you go.
If you pop the judge, you get a point. That's how it goes. But a couple of years ago, I went on a massive playthrough of all the Pokemon games, right?
Oh, he
So-
really is playing to the fucking
so-
most.
So I went through the first game, second game, all through the gens, right? But for the intended purpose, I went through the originals, not the remakes, right? So the first few were on Virtual Console, you get them on the 2DS, it's handy enough. But number 3 was tricky because you still had them on cartridge. So here I was, at age 28 or whatever it is, booting up my Game Boy Advance SP with the tribal markings with my original ROM of Pokemon Emerald. And I have all the games are in that room somewhere, and I'm fairly sure the SD is somewhere
We're
hidden in
not
that
going to
cabinet
be
there.
taking time
No,
on the show.
we're
to
not
play
doing
the
props.
game.
No, that'd be too
That's
much.
dangerous.
That's dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, especially
That's
for
way too
you.
many games
Yeah.
Very
playing
much
through
more.
on your channel.
Yes.
I half expect you to just whip out something from your bag, like just that we should not see.
something janky, like, you know.
That's for Nerds Are Us After Dark.
Yes.
And, when you subscribe, you will see what Amy has in her magic bag.
So with that is thank you very much. I shall take this prop. So
Oh, torture.
hello, Torchic. So when I did get to
I was like, did you get in my bag?
So for this exact reason, to play through all the games, I had to like load up the original like ROM, right? And I remember sinking a lot of time in the Pokemon Emerald because sometimes you pick a game and that's where you put all your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Back then, because you had to put your stuff somewhere. So I checked the ROM, and before wiping the game, I checked the time. 408 hours I clocked on that ROM before wiping it, and then just like literally just like opening the ROM to see what I had there. And literally was all these kind of Pokemon I would have had when I was, say, 10 or 11 or 12, whatever it was. And they're all fucking killers. You know? So literally before I, like, wiped it, I went, like, how much can I actually salvage, say, from all of this before wiping the ROM? Like, about, like, yeah, that's a good, like, I would say 2 to 3 years worth. That happens every now and then as well, to be fair. Just fish or rat. Wow.
He couldn't do splash, so he had to do tackle.
Flail. That was a flail.
Jesus Christ. That was a jankin.
That was a proper jank on the head there, yeah, you know? Anyway, but like I said, it was about 410 hours of my life clocked onto one game,
We're just using that as a
which is
noun now.
pretty fucking mad, you know.
Verb.
But yeah, and like I said, it was all the ones like the ones I used to play as, like proper ones I used to have, just like swap them all over, saved them, just even for starting. I've got bigger ones since, but the fact that they were all there on the ROM still as I left it about 15 years ago was pretty fucking wild. And even some of the other like cartridges I still have, they're still fucking work today. Like they were built to last, those fucking things.
Yeah.
Even the original Game Boy is still there, you know, still works no problem. And even right there, the PS2 still works no problem. And Jesus, yeah, there's some nostalgia in some of those fucking games, to say that much. Alright, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's not a debate. Like, you do get that, yeah?
Yeah, no, I do get that. Yeah, but like,
There you go.
Yeah.
That was a real, like, case closed. There you go.
and that's the end of
Love
that chapter.
You know what? I'll give you 3 points. There you go.
Oh, okay, interesting. Again, this
You see
this-
it before she
this is what I get to
said her
before I get to
story.
get decimated in the in the next round.
I thought I'd keep you on even ground just for the moment.
Yes.
Do you know what? Do you
For
know
narrative purposes.
What? Talk to you in a bit. Do you know what is pure nostalgia? Do you know when you're watching the newer trends that are happening now? Like if you look at TikTok and stuff like that, and then you find that one song on TikTok, like, oh my god, Gen Z are now only realizing what this song
Oh
is.
god, yeah, that's
And
a good
then
one.
it just like, oh, do you and then you go onto Spotify, and
Mm.
then you just start finding all these older songs that you start going through, and it's literally, it's like, I'm now just going back to my teenage years. I'm just going to relive every awkward phase, and then you just remember how fucking banging an album was. For example, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge
Yes.
is a cracking fucking album, and only people nowadays are actually starting to...
Yeah.
Oh, Gen Z are only figuring that out now.
Because like with them coming over here soon. Like, did you get your ticket?
I didn't. I missed out this time.
They're still available.
They are, but for me getting off work now, I can't. Yeah. Because of another factor in my work life, which people on the Nerds Are Us channel are probably aware of, that I have an issue with a coworker, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's kind of delayed. That's prevented me from being able to go.
A point for grief. There you go.
Thank you. But yeah, it's when you find an old song, or when you come across that old TV show that like intro, and you're like, oh, and you just have a flashback to sitting on Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of not even Cocoa Pops, not Sugar Puffs, like the golden, and they weren't even golden nuggets, they were like corn pops is what the cereal was called, and it was literally they were originally golden nuggets, but then they got rebranded. So they were just called Corn Pops, and they were just yellow balls of like cereal sugar. And he used to, I remember just sitting in front of the TV watching cartoons which were like Biker Mice from Mars, Transformers, Gargoyles, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is pure. That was a fucking Saturday morning to be proud
What a
of.
fucking cast for that thing as well.
Fucking excellent.
Gargoyles.
Yeah. That was just, and then just finding people like now only like finding these things, you're just like, oh, I just want to relive my childhood all over again when I watch that shit.
To go, like, to tack on to what you were saying is the fact that like nowadays it's a great excuse, especially for those that actually have children as well. It's like they're starting to discover it, but it gives you a great excuse to like, I used to watch this as a kid, then like let's watch it together.
Yeah.
Like, so it can create those moments like if you have kids.
Noah.
But even if you don't have kids, like, it's just great to go back and like. I know sometimes it doesn't work out. Like
Animaniacs holds up significantly well. It really does. They hold up really
Gargoyles holds up really well because like the writing was solid and casting was fantastic for that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles actually holds up quite
The original one?
Yeah, holds up significantly well.
Like, it wanted, considering that it came out in the 80s, then got re-released in the
in the
90s.
Yeah, it holds up really well for 2022.
But is that also different in quality? Because for every like fucking like TMNT, there's like a Biker Mice from Mars who tried the same formula and just slightly missed the mark.
Not really.
But that's not probably a good example. But there's something, there's stuff like that.
Okay, if you were to look at like if you're, again, we're not trying to get into a debate here, I am very quickly going to get off this topic. But one thing that will work. And it's now, if you're looking back on it now, it works. Yeah. It still works. Like, you still get that nostalgia hit off it. When you watch Teenage Mutant Turtles, that brings you back.
Yeah. It's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah. That's the point of it, in a sense. It's like, you are able to go back and just be like, I'm just going to relive my youth. It's like when I see someone with Bacardi Breezer. That's not even, I'm not even saying that as a joke. When I see someone walking around, if I see a particular age group and they have a Bacardi Breezer or a Wicket, I'm just like, or a Smirnoff Ice, I'm like, why haven't we just mixed it into a Fat Frog yet? Yeah. Like, kids, I'm going to show you how to make a good drink.
Yeah. How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, hello, fellow youth.
I was a young person once. Here, I'll show you my secrets.
Hey, you want to fucking fall down on the floor? I'll show you how to do that in 3 easy steps. Mix these bottles.
It's only when I left there, when you were talking about the likes of TikTok and music, it kind of got me remembering like how like, you know,
do I get points for that?
how nice social media was when we were growing up, in a sense, comparatively speaking to the fucking like.
When we were growing up, I didn't have social media when I was growing up.
Well, I was more thinking the likes of, like, you know, your Bebos on MySpace. Remember Bebo?
Jesus.
Yeah,
remember MySpace?
I will say this. It wasn't until I was a teenager.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Like,
yeah,
so formative years, whatever.
And even then, I wasn't even on Bebo for that long. Because Facebook became bigger than at that point.
Yeah.
I do remember having my Bebo. Do you remember the flashbox you had on Bebo? And you could put like a song.
Yes.
You could put 4 different. Yeah, Dick in a Box. Was Dick in a Box was the video. Was the last video I had on that.
Yeah.
Mine was Metal Gear Awesome. Metal Gear Awesome was on my flashbox. Like,
yeah.
Just
we lived very different lives.
We did. Yeah.
Just.
I think I was too. See, that's the thing. Like, I didn't quite. I didn't quite get that whole kind of thing at the time, because like.
Step 2, put your dick in your box. Step 3, give your girl in the box. Step 4, open the box. It's my dick in a box.
But like you're talking about Bebo. Like, now I was on Bebo for a good while, and that was from like 2005, I think.
I came in. I would have joined very late. So,
2005, but like I stayed with that.
I did keep my Bebo until the bitter end.
Like to the bitter end.
Like I did refuse Facebook for a long time.
Twitter I refused for a long time.
Same, yeah.
Only in the last like 4 years I think I've actually been on. Actually,
I think 7 years is what I got of mine.
Like I've been part of like Twitter since 2009.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get into that until
it was just another thing. But then everyone like kind of like it.
2011.
But there you go. Yeah.
I've only been on Twitter since 2011.
But like Bebo is definitely, or MSN Messenger. Like,
Messenger. Playing chess on Messenger. Like the little games you could have on Messenger, you know.
But like waiting for someone to get back to you on the fucking chat. It's like.
It's quite endearing because, like, I remember, like, Jenny just asked him one time, like, cause, like two of my mutual friends kind of got together and said, like, you know what? And it was, I never actually asked them where they actually met. And so, like, they actually just met over Messenger, which I think is, like, really endearing. So I was like, oh, that's really cute.
That is actually quite
Isn't it? It's just like, you're probably, like, you know, this is around the same time where, like, you know, I was, like, you know, becoming friends with her and thinking, like, you know, it's like, we have the same kind of interest. Oh, you already have some, that's fine, never mind. And that's fine, that's okay. But yeah, it's acting where it's like, oh, that's actually just quite a cute way.
Do you remember when YouTube used to be able to, like, on YouTube you used to actually be able to message
I got you before on that. When YouTube used to be only 10 minutes long, you had a limit on the video length for the YouTube. It used to be only 10 minutes because of the servers.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough space, so everything had to be, first of all, it's only under than 6 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 25 minutes, and they can have fucking epics on it then.
I do remember though at a time where YouTube used to have, like, the messaging version on YouTube used to be able to, like, if you comment on a video and then you could DM that person.
Yeah.
And it was basically like, I remember having, like, random ass conversations with people on Twitter. It's like, to the extent it was like a chat rooms.
Yep.
Oh my god. Lads,
I avoided chat rooms a lot.
What the fuck was chat rooms? Oh my god, like, how did we not die?
Chat rooms are just, like, when you look back on it now, it's like, Jesus Christ, how did we get by on that? Like,
I listen to an awful lot of true crime. I listen to so much true crime. It should appear unhealthy, and yet I am a somewhat stable. I said somewhat stable human being, right? Don't look at that glass again.
For the context, like, I looked at him and then looked down.
I am a very, very semi-functioning alcoholic, I will have you know.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, that was said a lot last time Amy was here.
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
But
I am an adult. And I don't pour away good alcohol.
But true.
What was
minus 1 point for John.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But
I'll
yeah,
take that,
like, it is one of those things. It's like when you look back on stuff. But
yeah,
just actually, I was gonna make a point, but then you looked at my drink, and then it just reminded me. I don't know if you did this. Because you don't really seem the type to have done this because you're a scientist.
I am a scientist.
He's not Batman though.
Drinking in the field.
Knacker drinking.
Knacker drinking. You did do it.
A bit. Not to the same extent.
A bit.
Yeah. A bit.
Let me ask
you,
Let me ask you, Glorious, now on this question. How many times would you have to stand outside an off license looking for that dodgy bastard to ask him and give him all the money to go in and buy a 2 shoulders of Hussar vodka and 2 packs of 20 John Player Blue?
I can't say I've never had that situation because I think even when I was 20 I looked old. Or even before then I was old.
You don't know the struggle.
I don't know the struggle.
You don't know
right.
the struggle.
You're absolutely right. I don't know the struggle. When you've looked like a middle-aged person since you're 16, you don't really get that problem.
I will never know how me and my friends never succumbed to alcohol. I will never know. My brother nearly did. I have a story. Right. My brother would have been 16 at the time. My middle brother would have been 16 at the time. And he and 2 of his mates went out knacker drinking. Mm-hmm. And they got pure vodka.
Oh,
right?
No.
Pure vodka. And they were in the fields and they downed it in the field. I don't know how Paul managed to get home, but he was in a state, couldn't get his key in the door.
Yeah.
My brother and me, and my older brother was there. Mm-hmm. And I was still at the house. Now there's a 3-year age gap between me and Paul, and there's 4 years between me and Damien. Right. So me and Damien were so I would have been 6, so I would have been 13, 12, 13 at the time. Okay. And me and Damien were trying to weigh up our options. What do we do? Do we ring Mum and Dad who are on a night out with their friends? So we bite the bullet because we were worried Paul might die in his sleep. Yeah. So we call our parents. Dad comes home. Mum comes with him, and so did their the married coupled friends that they'd gone out with. Yeah. Who are family friends. I've known them since birth. And Paul was in a state. Dad reefed him out of his bed, threw him into the bath, turned the shower on and hosed him down. Like in his fully clothed, and he hosed him down, and Paul cried the entire time. I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again. They're trying to coax him. Who gave you the drink? Yeah. Now eventually they got the information. That was grand. So Mum made a phone call to one of the other boys' mums that was there, and she was like, yeah, no, he's in a state. What happened? And then the 2 boys, Paul and Dave, they didn't know that snitches get stitches. So, but there's a reason for this. Yeah. Paul and Dave were both 16 at the time. The person who gave them the alcohol was 20. Yeah. Right. So there's at this point, fuck this guy. So that was grand anyway. So Paul's screaming, I'll never do it again. I'll never drink again. I'll never touch it again. I promise I'll never do it again. Me and Damien are standing outside the kitchen, the bathroom, like, fucking arsehole. Like, pissing ourselves laughing. This is the funniest thing in the world to us.
I like that was a very, like, a lovely technique of advanced parent interrogation. It's like, he's hiding something, get him in the shower.
hey, waterboarding works. Right? So, the following, this was Friday night, so Sunday, we're going to our grandparents' house for dinner.
Yeah.
Right? Sunday lunch with the grandparents. And my aunt, who I've advised you of what she's like, she was over with the Malteser. And, her husband, I call him the Malteser. He's
was he like a chocolate? Is he a crunchy centre or was
from
he
Malta?
Okay, fair enough.
And so she made a little joke, and she literally just said in her joke, "Who's going to have the vodka?" And of course, because of what just happened, we decided. Paul shat himself.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and Dave was like, "Who told you? Who told her?" And he rattled himself out to the extent where then my granddad found out that Paul had been caught drinking in the field, and my dad couldn't actually punish him for it because he was also caught drinking in the fields. And then I eventually came clean. After, I think I was in my 20s then when I finally came clean to them that I also did it as well. It was a family tradition, I think, of just getting drunk in the field and telling them you're at a sleepover.
Oh, that's I don't know about, I mean, they don't have a family tradition like that of sorts, but we're quite dull in comparison.
10 points to Hufflepuff.
You get 3 points. There you go.
I'll take it.
Like, yeah.
Well, when you're talking about nostalgia, I actually had a recent flash of that. It's like recording.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Just the USB seemed to betray me. It's actually like
Betrayal.
betrayal.
Are you trying to actually turn back on the TV, maybe?
No, it's just the camera just knocked off.
I just don't like how... Is that what the noise was that all of us looked at?
Maybe.
Possibly. Was it unplugged?
No, it was there was like a lead fault. I don't know what. That was separate. Anyway, but very recently I had a bit of a nostalgia thing where
They'll still be able to hear the audio though.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll just
okay,
put up
right.
like a thumbnail of like just
Out
going
of order.
like that. Yeah. Well,
Nostalgia. Oh. You loved.
Boobs.
Oh, I remember tits. God, it was so long ago.
Why wouldn't I look at boobs?
The great tit war.
Because you're actually the one that's always very like polite and like, no, I'm not gonna look down.
Do you know what we should do is right?
That's actually legit the first time I've ever actually seen you, honest to God, actually go, yeah, she's done it enough times, I'm actually going to look this
That's
time.
like Nedge, like, who doesn't want to fucking see boobs? Jesus. That'd be fucking stupid.
Gay men, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably.
They might try, they might have a look at them.
They might acknowledge their existence.
God, I haven't seen them since I was been breastfed.
If you're a gay man, write in and let us know. Do you look at boobs? Do you acknowledge their presence?
They're probably like...
I'm actually genuinely curious about that.
There you go, yeah.
They're probably like, I wish I had them big, like, them that big. Or I wish I had them that
Keep
size.
digging, Foxy. You'll strike out eventually.
Shut up.
But like,
shut up.
What we should do?
Points.
What we should do for the crack, right? Is like we all like of a certain for a certain generation, just to confuse like people like in like two generations. We just talk about like it's kind of like this mythical like the great tit war of 2000s. Remember like the tit war of 2000? No, you don't remember that? I should look it up, man. It was fucking serious stuff. Like the crackdown on pornography was horrendous.
Points off him just for that, or
just make up like a fake nostalgia thing, just to confuse future generations. It's like I'm trying to Google something about this. It's not coming up. I wouldn't see on Google.
He's talking about me digging a hole. Like
yeah,
he's doing that right there.
Yeah.
Well, all right. If we're going back to nostalgia, right? This happened to me a couple of weeks ago.
If we're going back,
if we are going back, if we insist on going back to nostalgia.
Take that trip down memory lane.
I am going to take that trip down to memory lane.
Come on, impress me. Wow me.
So, I was going back... I was meeting Kira for dinner in town, right? And on my way up, I went past by Old College, Kevin Street. So, I went to college in DIT, Kevin Street.
Nerd!
Thank you. Yeah, that's actually where all the nerds went. It was science and computing.
Nerd!
They literally put all the nerds in Dublin into one really janky 70s building.
I love that's why it's come from the Trinity College students. Nerd!
Fucking posh boy. Anyway, I But
they knew how to go down on a girl.
Yeah. No, the thing about Kevin,
that was nostalgic.
That was knacker drinking as well, was it?
It wasn't knacker drinking at that point.
I'll award 2 points to John for that one.
It wasn't knacker drinking at that point because we were all of legal age.
Okay.
And it was always in someone's room.
Okay, well, that's something, I guess. But like the thing about Kevin Street was it was getting demolished and being replaced with flats, like everything in fucking Dublin City. Right now, the thing was that there was like a leaving kind of due for Kevin Street. Like all past pupils came back in to visit the place before I got fucking smashed up.
This is where I got high for the first time. This is where I shut up my first round.
Yeah, like even like checking, like I was like, wow, this is actually what the lab looks without the machinery. Jeez, it's so boring looking, that kind of thing. And we all kind of went into the snackery for the last time as well. So there's like the way Kevin Street was, there was a canteen on the ground floor where everyone actually ate their food. And then people who didn't bother with actual food and just like lived on a diet of like instant noodles and hunky dories sit on the snackery, and we played pool and
Don't diss that life.
No,
that was my life too.
I never went to the canteen.
Anytime I see someone eating like noodles, like have you ever seen when they're
Coca noodles? Yeah.
Or even like just like anytime like if they had
cup of noodles and
the cup of noodles and stuff, I'm just like, oh, I remember those days too when I
remember the student diets.
I remember that diet. Well, nearly killed me.
But like I used to like sometimes like skip lectures just to play card games, to play like fucking poker and shithead and shit like that, And shithead is a game I've only played in college. I've only played with college friends.
I've never known anyone actually to play that with anyone else other than college people.
It's like a college. It just stays in college and that's it.
That's actually that is nostalgic.
That is it. So we were there on the last day Kevin Street was open. They were all in the snackery. We all brought in like they had like champagne and stuff like that, prosecco, whatever it was. And we all there with like fucking like little flutes of champagne, sipping away. All graduated playing shithead in the snackery, going like.
Can you pass me over this over?
Certainly. And we're all. I remember actually saying it at the table, going like, lads, this is probably the last time I ever do this. But actually, this will be actually tangibly the last time we'll ever sit in this building and play this game. And I was like, shit, yeah, you're right. That's kind of fucking scary. Now this is actually pre-COVID, right? So post-COVID, I'd never gone down to that part of town because I had literally no reason to go there, right? So that area of like Kevin Street has been done up completely with like a new Garda station, all this sort of stuff. I was walking through that way, and then. When you're so used to, because it was the same route I used to go to walk to college, right? So it was get off the forecourts, up Christchurch, cut through where Burdock's is, down the road, and you're there at Kevin Street. You see, it's a big fucking looming 5-story building. You can hardly miss it. It's a fucking eyesore comparatively. And then when I walk past, I'm going like, oh my god, it's so much brighter on this corner. Because the fucking building's been demolished. The entire building is gone. And I think like, oh fuck. When it actually kind of hits you that like that building is gone. That building has been demolished since fucking 2020, but I've never been there since 2020.
That's actually, I felt that when I went by Francis Street.
Yeah,
Tivoli. Oh,
I was going to reference
Jesus, the Tivoli.
It hit me so fucking hard. Now,
I have to walk past that every day and see it taken piece by piece.
I'm going to be honest with you at this point, right? So, like, I have so many good memories of being in the Tivoli. I've so many drunken memories of being Tivoli. I met Scott Hall in the Tivoli Theatre.
Yeah.
That was where I met Scott Hall. That was where I had my epic fangirl moment. Was in the Tivoli. And I walked by it recently. And I'm not going to lie, I got genuinely very upset over it. And I wasn't upset because... I was like, that's literally... Majority of my happiest memories have literally been demolished with that building.
Yeah.
And it's
like the memories that were made in the building.
Friendships that were made in that building, the smoking area outside next to the bus where I used to get my cheap drinks.
Yes.
Like, all that gone. And it's like, oh, it's your memory, like, and you still have it. And it's like, no, you do. I don't think, some people just do not understand. Do you ever get that when you get, like, a smell of something? Like, if there's particular, okay.
Yeah.
So, this
associative memory.
Everyone will be able to understand this. If you smell a particular aftershave and it reminds you of that one person, or a perfume and it reminds you of that one person, whether it be good memories or bad memories, once you get that smell, it will whiff back to you, right?
Yeah.
So I happened to be. I was at a house party. This was long after the Tivoli event. I was at a house party and someone legit had Bavaria. What's it called?
Bavaria.
Bavaria.
Oh,
beer,
the beer, yeah.
Right, and they had it, and they accidentally spilt it, and honest to God, I had a flashback to the Tivoli. I had tunnel vision, and I actually had a flashback to the Tivoli, and I couldn't get over. I was like, oh my God, that just brought me back.
Yeah.
To it straight away, And it's as anytime I have if I have a Long Island iced tea anywhere,
Woolshed.
it brings me back to the Low Blows parties in Woolshed. And the night I did 9, my proudest alcoholic moment of my entire life was I managed to drink 9 pitchers of Long Island iced tea to myself in a 9-hour period.
Nice.
No, sorry,
1 hour.
12. Sorry, I lied. It was a 12-hour period because it was from 4 till 4. We got there at 4 p.m.
Jesus.
And we got food.
Yeah,
right? We got a meal. And I said, fuck it, I'll just get a picture of Long Island iced tea because the girl who was with me was planning on sharing it with me.
Yeah.
And she took one sip of it and she goes, oh, that's way too strong for me. And I kind of giggled. I'm like, alright, whatever, the pitcher's mine. And I had a glass with the pitcher at first. And then by the time I was onto my 4th pitcher, the bartender who was friends with my brother was like, do you want glasses? And I went, just give me the straw. And I get to a point where I just had a straw in a pitcher. And I kept going back with the same pitcher. Because pitchers were in short demand when you were in the Woolshed on a WWE night. You were not getting it. Everyone was getting pitchers, so they did not have enough, right? So I held on to that pitcher and they'd literally refill it with a Long Island iced tea, and they never once cut me off. And then the guards came, the guns were at the ready, the armed response unit was there.
That was actually the only time I went to a Low Blows party.
The armed response unit turned up. I had a fucking shotgun in my face while imagine this is the pitcher. I'm not going till I finish this. And then I'm standing there on the steps with my phone in my hand while 8 other people surround me as we try to figure out who won the Royal Rumble.
Yes, same.
And hearing disappointed from because everyone's on a time delay.
That's what it was.
Everyone was on a time delay, so some people knew who it was, and as people figured out, they all started to leave.
For those guards, that was one of the most surreal fucking moments.
I know the guard heading that unit.
Yeah.
I met him outside.
He must have been so surreal for him because
he saw me walk out, right? He's one of the nicest guards I've ever had the joy of working with, honest to God, and he's a proper family friend, and it was really funny because he was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, what are you doing here? And he told me what the actual call-in was. And I was like, that's really not what's going on. Can I get a lift home?
Yeah.
I got to go home in a riot van.
What was it? We slunk out from the shopping centre sides.
Literally, someone at the end, it was really funny because the people I was with were like, "Oh my god, why is Amy getting into a Garda car?" Literally, he drove me to Store Street Garda station, and then when we got to Store Street, they were like, "Give me 15 minutes, I'm off my shift," and I was like, "Cool, no worries."
Love it.
And that was it. And he dropped me home. It was very funny because my dad was getting up to go to work.
work, yeah.
He was working. He was working in the airport. He was still a guard. He hadn't retired yet, but he was working in the airport. They did immigration and stuff. They actually had the real guards at that point. And he sees me getting out of the back seat of a Garda car, and he was like, "What the fuck?" So the guard opens the back door and lets me out, and he's like, "Oh no issues. no issues. We're just dropping her home. That's what we happened to run into her in town. I said I'd give her a lift home."
Yeah.
And I did insist on being in the back of the police car. Because I've never been in the back of a police car. I've been in the front seats of police cars numerous times. I've been in riot vans a few times. This is when you have a dad as a guard and you are quite a sickly child.
Yeah.
This is how you get picked up. I had a kidney infection one year. I was in Temple Street Children's Hospital. And they thought because when I was younger I had to be on dialysis when I was born. My kidneys weren't great. I had hip dysplasia as well when I was born. My hips were broken when I was born, so I had an awful lot. I have a lot of issues that thankfully I don't let get in the way of my drinking. That
is the main thing, really.
Yeah.
The main thing that interrupts that, your chronic fuck.
Honest to God, if
it's one of your basic functions,
look at it this way: if I actually was
Amy's drinking habit, then you're fucked. Basically.
Realistically, actually, however, my body would probably thank you because my kidneys and my liver would probably be like, you know what, maybe take my kidneys more so than anything else. Or take a break, but that's why I only drink one night. I actually only drink once a month now.
Oh.
And that's when I'm with you during the recordings. So I only actually ever drink when I'm.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah, we feel special.
I only drink once a month now. I'm
actually really that actually makes me feel really nice. It's like
I used to. This the thing is.
I'm feeling charitable. 5 points to both this.
The thing is, right. So I finished that story. I had a kidney infection, and my dad only had the riot. My dad was currently in the riot van. They were literally just doing reports. So him and the officer that was with him, they picked us up because my mum didn't drive at the time and we only had one car and it was parked at Store Street. So Dad got the van and dropped us home, and it was the first time I had a Big Mac.
Nice.
It was the very first time I got a Big Mac because my mum felt really bad for me because I couldn't eat anything the whole time, and she regretted it afterwards because the medication he had me on made me very violently ill. My mum can't deal with sick.
Sure.
She had to wait until my dad came home to clean my room for me. She brought me into like her room and put a bucket and stuff like that. But yeah, my when I actually drink, if I go out drinking with like my friends and stuff, like if I'm going out on a night out, I have maybe 3 or 4 drinks, but I nurse the shit out of them.
Yeah, you do. That's you for the night.
That's the I will nurse them. But when I used to do OTT, I would drink the whole day.
Yeah.
Because this is the only time I'm going to be out drinking this month.
So we've actually taken your drinking cycle in a sense.
Yeah, so like, because we meet up once a month to do Nerds Are Us, and this is like, I know for a fact, I'm in a safe space.
Yeah.
I'm at someone's house. I know how I'm getting home later on. I will stop drinking at a certain time, so I know I'm okay for it.
Yeah.
But this is the only time. Very rarely will I actually drink at home now. Like I'm only ever really drink now when I'm around.
I actually feel quite grateful that that's the way you feel.
That's why my measurements are always like, cheers. That's why my measurements are always like up, because it's like if I can get to the point of tipsiness.
Yeah.
Early enough, I'm done. I'm good for the night. I have a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I leave the drink here as well. There's no point of me bringing it home with me.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that now, like, we do. Essentially, there is now like a case of like, we now have essentially a house vodka and a house gin, and we'll just change it over every time the bottle is empty, because I know you will drink it eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's So that's
like
like
nice.
that's the thing is, but like it is. It's one of those things. Is like, but that's for me. It's like, so I went from being quite a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
I say heavy drinker. That. I wouldn't say I've never had an issue with drink. I wouldn't be a person who's like, I can't get through a day without a drink.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all.
You pick your moments though. You have a night where you enjoy yourself.
Well, like I used to go out 5 nights a week. Like I used to go out 5 nights a week. And this was after college. I would be in a job. I would have to go to work. This is when I was working in insurance. Like that is and I worked personal injury fraud claims. That is serious money. I'd have to go to court and I'd be out the night before in a pub drinking. Yeah. And I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, what am I actually doing with my life? And the people who I'd be with were also like, why aren't you drinking? Is everything okay? And it wasn't a sense of, is everything okay at home? It was always like, oh, are you feeling drunk already? Did you smoke too much weed? Yeah. And it was never a case of, oh, you just don't want to drink. It was always, I always felt kind of really forced onto doing it. I don't feel forced now to do it.
It's a peer pressure, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that was in my fucking 20s. Like, I mean, now, like, when I look back now at like what, because I look at some of the people that I used to hang around with, and I look and see what they're doing now. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, had I not had the balls to walk away, that would be me. Like I would be stuck in there. So now I'm kind of like, I'm able to look back through like really weird gin rose tinted glasses. Yeah. Because like I can't turn around and say, oh, I'm better than them, because I was like, oh god, I get through a bottle of gin in a month, like, and that's in one night. Yeah. I'm able to drink a bottle of gin. Yeah. In one night. I shouldn't be proud of that. But at least I know for a fact it's only once every 4 weeks I'm going to do that.
You know, it's actually funny you mentioned that. I know what you're kind of referring to, because we had a movie night, it was meant to be a movie night last week down in Kildare. And it's funny because we ended that night, right, watching something on Netflix, but on top of that, as the palate cleanser, was Takeshi's Castle. Now, how the fuck does that not make you feel nostalgic? Because I woke up every morning before school, that'd be the thing that'd be on, would be Takeshi's Castle. But the gas thing was, I used to be a real fucking douchehead and fucking wake up half an hour earlier because Nightmare was on before Takeshi's Castle. So I get an episode of Nightmare and Takeshi's Castle in before I go anywhere, before I go to school.
Takeshi's Castle, right? So, Japanese television is the greatest thing in the world. Do you remember Channel 4 at night, right? They used to do Takeshi's Castle, Eurotrash, and then Bonsai.
Bonsai, yeah.
Bonsai! Me? Oh my god, I actually legit, every time I used to have, like, a friend of mine used to sleep over and Bonsai was on, we'd actually place bets on
the more I think of it, the more weird fucking TV used to be on when we were on. What
the fuck was Eurotrash?
Eurotrash was
for honest to god, Eurotrash was...
It was the precursor to badly dubbed porn. Yeah. Basically.
But there's even weirder shows than that. There was like fucking Drawn Together. Do you remember that show?
Yes.
That was
Drawn Together. Oh my god, that was one of the best things. After Celebrity Deathmatch.
Ling Ling.
Yeah. Ling Ling. Foxy Brown. Princess Clara. Yeah. I fucking love Drawn Together was my shit. Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah. Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch, yeah.
Get it on. Original.
Yes, original,
right,
yeah.
5 points to Jam.
Fucking Beavis and Butthead famously as well.
Celebrity Deathmatch.
No, but being drawn together drew out the conversation.
Oh,
you
fuck
see.
you when you're drawn together.
But even doing stuff like, do you know what? Again, some that like
Put the Pokemon down.
Sorry. But the thing was that
That's a weapon. That is assault. He's using a Pokemon
super
against.
effective.
I jumped. Oh, my hair!
She's a grass type. She's weak to fire.
Be like Mills Lane. I'll allow it.
That's actually quite cute.
Isn't he? That was Kira. That was Kira's present.
She's a Jigglypuff.
No, but
I'm going to change her name on my phone.
But you know, but the other thing was that as well, right? Another thing that made me proper nostalgic, right? And it was only when the thought occurred to me, because we did like a Pokemon podcast for a while before off. I'm gonna kill him.
Bleep that name. Bleep that name. I also did a podcast with that fucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Some Egypt.
So your man, you know,
Yeah.
Social Democrat, you know. But the thing was that, like, the thing that would have made me nostalgic, because the watch along series that watch along always did was actually meant to be between myself, Adam, and Neil, and we were going to do a Yu-Gi-Oh rewatch, but from the original episode all the way back, and that just brings me back to, I think, now I don't know, I'm not going to touch on this that much because I know it might be a potential box set, because we discussed this months ago about box sets, but like a chain of like watching the Den, we'd have if I can't remember the order, but I'm fairly sure it was something like Digimon, then Yu-Gi-Oh, then Beyblade, and then something else. And I can't remember what the actual order of things were, but that was like a staple of the Den for a long, long time. And it was the great thing was whoever was on along with Don Conroy trying to bluff their way through the conversation about cartoons and shows they have no fucking clue about.
Yeah.
Like Power Rangers they can do no problem, Morbex they can do no problem. What the fuck is Digimon? What the fuck is Beyblade?
Oh my god,
you know
Rosie and Jim.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the
Digimon.
puppet. Hold on, sorry.
Go.
This is going to be. Do you remember the amount of puppet shows in the 90s?
Yeah.
I'm a tot on teeny tots, teeny tiny tinies, with the tots from Tootsie 3. 1, 2, 3. What the? Why do I remember that?
Rosie and Jim, like
Rosie and Jim, sailing along on the old canal. Rosie and Jim, I can't remember the rest of it. But I mean, but it's the extent of I should not remember that much of them.
Why am I retaining that information?
Why do I retain? I'm a tot on teeny tots, teeny. Why do I put the accent on like I sang it in as well?
You're bringing up like the Den, and obviously like with puppets, like fucking like
Bosco.
Like Bosco, but also
I met Bosco.
At random moments, you'd fucking have Ted just jump in and fucking attack like the host.
Yes.
I loved that as a kid. That would crack me up.
Do you remember when Roger and Podge were actually on the Den?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they kidnapped Santa.
Did you ever see the...
They kidnapped Santa. It was a Christmas special and they kidnapped Santa, and Zig and Zag and Ray Darcy had to go to the North Pole to save Santa.
That's it.
And Roger and Podge had him in a fucking giant case.
Yeah.
Like a trunk. The trunk, not even a case, a trunk.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Irish television?
Do you remember when Podge and Rog got their own TV show?
A Night is Scare Bedtime with Podge and Rog.
No, after that, they had their own talk show.
They had their own talk show that had fucking
the highlight of it was Johnny Vegas.
I'm sorry. A Scare at Bedtime.
Scare at Bedtime is great. Yeah.
A Scare at Bedtime. There's two of them that jump out to me. Right. One of them was a bloke. One of them was a bloke who had. Is the camera on off?
Yeah.
Oh, the cap on. No, it's gone off. I still don't know what it is. But A Scare at Bedtime. Right. One of them was called Gob.
Yeah.
It was the very first episode that they had, and it was one of these people who joined a cult, and it was to do with yogurts.
Yes.
Right? And they joined, and then another one was a fella who had fallen out with his girlfriend. She ended up dating a plastic surgeon, and he ended up putting it, and he got a dick attached to his forehead. And he was like, now who's the dickhead? Like, what the fuck?
Do you know what the best thing is, Amy? Half of them are on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have them on video.
Oh, love it.
I still have A Scare at Bedtime on a two-tape VHS.
Oh, actually, on that fucking point, if we're talking about nostalgia,
I also have
the pirate DVDs.
I also have LimeWire.
Pirate DVDs and pirate videos.
LimeWire.
LimeWire. No, I can top that. Cold Wire. That was the successor to Lab. Napster. Morpheus was one as well. Morpheus was the dodgy one. Real Player. Real Player was low key the best one because
I still use Real Player.
Do you? That's great.
Real Player was fantastic. You could download
Real Player
videos.
was able to download. There was a certain point in time with Real Player, you were able to download YouTube videos perfectly, not in FLV form,
they were
but
fantastic.
in WAV.
Yeah, they
which
were
is like a godsend at the time.
I did Okay, on YouTube, right? If you haven't realised, I'm a fucking fan of Supernatural, right? And I will never get to go to one of their conventions. They are very expensive. Not unless they do Justin Bello again, and I happen to be able to afford a trip to fucking Italy to go. But there's particular YouTubers. There's one in particular, and she goes to, I can't think what her full name is, so I don't want to say it. I'll double check it. I'll probably link you to do a description for Supernatural fans.
Yeah.
But she records, like she goes to the panels. She records everything. She goes to the J squared panels. She does the Misha panels. She does them all.
Oh yeah.
Girl has money to fucking burn, and I love her for it. Gail something. I'll find out her full name. And but that's what I do. So I actually download them.
Love it.
So
I
you
love
take
it.
and watch back.
I'm just
So I
glad
watched
that
them
it's the
back.
year 2022 and someone is still using real players.
I remember the fucking real
The guy who
ones.
designed that is probably going, holy shit, someone's still using this. I need to find them. But there you go.
Hi,
There you go.
it's me. I love it.
But
so
fuck, man, like
much.
even like I was actually.
Do you know when it's when you find something that works.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Don't fix any broken shit.
You won't understand this, right? But women and birth control, right? Or no, actually.
I'm glad this came up because I was going to bring this up, but carry on.
No, sorry. This is it's a real thing. It's like for women will understand. There was a particular painkiller on the market, and it was basically like called like it was such a fucking ridiculous name. It was literally like Pyranad, was what it was called, something like that. Okay, and it was direct. It was basically for women specifically for your period pains. You have cramps, this will sort it out. You have diarrhea, this will sort it out. Nausea, this will sort you out.
The super drug.
It was the greatest drug known to womankind. Okay, no matter how bad your period was, it worked. It was gone in an instant.
Yeah.
The bastards took it off the market, and then you could only get it up the north, right? And it's one of those real things. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Real player, alright? It was never broke. I'm never gonna fix.
Fair.
That's why I go back to. That's why it's like when women find a painkiller or a birth
You
control
stick to
that works,
that, yeah.
you stick to that shit.
yeah.
If I find a system that will download videos in decent quality, I will stick to
Fair.
it.
No, that's totally fucking
Although I
fair.
will admit, I do use the Pirate Bay an awful lot.
I'm not gonna lie, like with the real player, like I used to do that. Like that would be how I get a lot of my videos.
Yeah.
Like, but I would.
You were quick.
But I would also fucking like I'd store them on my portable hard drive. But then my portable hard drive decided to just like kick the bucket.
Die
and
one day.
So I lost all that.
That's the worst thing in the world when your portable hard drive dies.
But like.
Oh, she sent a voice. Okay, I can't listen to the voice.
But yeah,
messages.
like he brought up a good point, so I'm gonna give him like 2 points.
I'm not gonna lie, actually, I'm really enjoying myself just chatting
Yeah.
at this point. I don't care about the points anymore.
But like,
I better win.
well, bribery is accepted, but hello. You'll have to go back on the edit to see it. There's 4 points for Amy.
I should feel dirty, but I don't. It is though. I think though it is though. That's remember when I was like saying like when a certain smell like kind of brings you back,
Yes.
right?
No, definitely.
Do you ever walk into an old school bakery
Yeah.
and you just get the smell of tiger bread?
Yeah.
And just like, do you know what that reminds me of? Gingerbread is a great one for it. It reminds me of me nana. Because I can't listen to your voice messages. I was like, oh,
You I also can't type when I'm driving, so
Yes.
it was pretty much, what did you do? Oh, wait, I see it now.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd notice it. I have a legit reason for it, I promise.
And then I was like, I am in charge of your food.
That's pepperoni. That's Foxy's, yeah.
And I could hold a hostage. I won't, but I could.
Yeah,
Blue
bring
bell.
my bitch.
Blue
Here's
bell,
my
with your dip.
bitch, yep. Here's my bitch.
And that's yours then?
And then the last message is, I really hope I'm not actually fucking telling people to sleep when I sing or worse, because I have a showcase in the week.
Oh no, it's literally just purely just for adorableness.
No, stop! I'm allergic to adorableness.
Right, y'all. Okay. There's the way there's a massive. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's a massive debate in the world over whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Right? Now, I will take pineapple on pizza. I enjoy it every now and again. I'm currently eating a pizza that has pear on it. And it is one of the greatest things that's ever been brought into my life. So, you know what?
I can understand it. I'm not a fan because I'm not particularly a fan of pineapple or pear.
It goes really well with the gorgonzola cheese.
Like, this is the thing. Like, I have caramelized onion on mine, which is sweet.
I love caramelized
Yeah.
onion too. we're having quite a nostalgic trip down memory lane on this.
Which would be the aim of the game.
I got very real about my possible alcoholism and real player. Oh, I love
you
fucking
remember
real
that? Or MSN chat. Bebo.
Top 10 friends.
The flashbox.
Bebo sends me right back to college.
Do you remember what was in your flashbox?
I was the one who would record our dances. I had a video recorder.
Oh my god, that is nostalgic.
Our dances would, like, they're still
god.
on my YouTube.
Actually, hold on.
They're still on my YouTube.
Okay, hold on. You are after just remind me of something. So, my 18th birthday. Me and a friend of mine, who my parents thought was going to be my lesbian life partner.
Still could be. You never know.
Right?
Never say never.
No, she's married now with two.
Never say never.
Child. At my 18th birthday, me and her got so drunk we actually made up our own dance routine, and we still know it. We still know it to this day. I'm 32. I was when I was 18. And we still know it to this day.
Love it.
My stepsister, when we were 15, not Diana or Erin, which was Katrina, Alan's sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We would make up dances to Backstreet Boys, All Saints, anything we,
You remember mixtapes?
I still make them.
This is what I was thinking on my way to the car, like on my way back here with pizzas.
Yeah.
Nostalgia for me is if I hear Gloria Estefan, Dr. B.
Yeah.
That to me was the first song on the mixtape that my dad made for our playlist.
It's like it's
the mixtape for going up to Bundoran on holidays.
Yeah.
When I was 11.
Like that to me, like anything Linkin Park is that, because I just that was when I went through my kind of little craze of that.
My Cork playlist.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks to Ian Bourne for that playlist.
Wow, cracking playlist.
Man, he is an absolute legend, because like that whole playlist, like I do listen to it
I listen to it constantly. I love that song
because it's just fucking like full of songs that give me like
mixtapes are a lost art form. They really fucking are, right? And I don't mean like you can still technically they're still in mass production. Look at now.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call music, right? That is legit just a mixtape, right? However, do you ever remember getting that mixtape from that one person?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this person really gives a shit.
Right.
Because this is their song.
I'm going to share something else with you, right? So this is actually not my story. This is Burtbot's story. Friend of the channel. He has been on there before, but friend of the show and Monday Madness member. So her sister is a few years younger than her, right? So for her 21st birthday, they're doing kind of like a family gathering, and now I can't remember which around this time it was, but basically I think her little sister needed cheering up, whatever it was. So Burtbot, for her birthday, found the mixtape that the two of them made when they were like 10 or 8, and played it at her 21st.
That's so cute.
I'm fairly sure now, Burtbot, if you're watching, correct me on that, but I'm fairly sure that's the gist of the story. But I know that she had uncovered the mixtape that they made, and she has like little dubs, as in like little like kind of radio passovers in between. Aww. I think it's either her or her sister does that, and it's just like it was a little collaboration between the two of them, because they're both music heads. They love music, their music, you know. So case in point, she's currently in Scotland at a Blondie concert. So
3 points for nostalgia. Like
thank you. Cheers, Burtbot. But like even like I was only saying to Kira actually yesterday when we were having dinner. Like I got like I don't know what conversation brought it on, but like I actually mentioned the likes of Limewire and Cold Wire, and that was how I watched my wrestling pay-per-views at the time. That's how I got like the 07 Rumble, Mania 23 and 24, burn them onto a disc, and we do like a viewing party here. Instead
of paying for the Simpsons box sets, I got them off. Like.
Oh, there was a show actually I downloaded back then. What was it? Fuck, it's out of my mind. It's out of my head now. It was something I really wanted to get into at the time. Because even at the time, I didn't watch that much TV, like live. It'd be like kind of like on someone's recommendation or something. What was it? Fuck, it's out of my head now. I'm sorry.
Well, you try and think of that, right?
Do you?
My cousin used to. She was a massive. She's a massive Take That fan. She still is, to be honest with you. And every now and again, I love doing it. But when we were younger, it was basically a form of like prison camp punishment. She used to make us dress up as Take That and act out the videos, and she'd have the family the recorder, the video recorder set up.
Yeah.
And we'd all have to do out the videos. And every time I always had to be Robbie Williams. I fucking hated it because I hated being Robbie Williams. I always wanted to be Mark on.
when we were
when Robbie Williams left the band, she was like, Amy, you can't be in my videos anymore.
Like, yay.
Love it. Oh no, how terrible.
So I did that. So what I decided to do was I went off on my own, right? And I started recording a radio TV show.
Your own solo stuff.
I started recording a radio show. As Robbie Williams with my cousin Mark as the DJ, and I'd just be talking shit about her the whole time.
You literally just did like that bitch Carol Baskin to your best friend.
To my cousin!
To my cousin, sorry.
And what made it even better was like we found a version of it. We found a tape in the house and we were like, she was moving out.
Yeah.
She was moving into her own house and she's like, what the fuck is this? And we were playing it. And it was just like a load of Take That songs, and then it was me just calling her a bitch.
Now if that is not a mixtape, I don't know what is.
She was like, wow, how do you really feel? And I was like, well, that's what you get for not letting me be Mark Owen. And then he cheated on his wife, and then I was like, I don't want to be Mark Owen anymore.
It only when you kind of mentioned music there, it kind of sparked the fact that like I have not to say bad nostalgia, but one song I unconditionally hate is the Cha Cha Slide. Right, I'll tell you why, because it was a craze.
I can top this.
I'm sure you can, but it was a craze at the time, and we were still in primary school, like at this point where it was getting like kind of popular. So they made everyone in the school like do the Cha Cha Slide, like learn the moves and all that, just so like the place can get a bit of fucking publicity. And I genuinely faked an injury for the entire day, so I didn't have to do the Cha Cha Slide. Now the problem was I was an idiot at the time and was limping on the wrong foot, but I think the point got across. I was not doing the fucking Cha Cha Slide. So.
Nostalgia songs. I can't listen to Last Resort by Lincoln.
By
Papa Roach.
Can't listen to it anymore.
Oh, I know.
I do have to ask us like why.
You told me this story of
yeah. I was dating someone.
Yeah.
Right, and he was in the mood and I really wasn't. And it was getting to a point where like nothing I was saying was like really kind of getting to the point, like him getting it across to the point that I just didn't want to do anything. So what happened was then
he didn't play the song, did
he put on his playlist, and Last Resort happened to be on while I eventually like gave in and gave him head. So every time now I hear Last Resort, I'm just reminded of the saddest blowjob I've ever given a bloke, because there was no enthusiasm. It was like a wet fish. Like I may as well just put a dead fish over his dick. Like there was no effort, there was no enthusiasm,
suffocation,
no feeling, and I literally went through the motions of the whole thing, and he thought it was the best thing ever. Meanwhile, I was like,
2 points for your misery.
Done. Thank you.
2 points for a sad blowjob.
Thank you. And it was sad blow / hand job as well. Like,
that is literally Cards Against Humanity card.
I can't, every time I hear that song now, I actually like cringe.
That's fair, yeah. Actually, yeah. Is there any other songs that probably do make you cringe now listening back to it? Like, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe I actually listened to that shit. Because I'm kind of like that. Like it's not in a sense with like Eminem, but I used to
the Macarena. That makes me cringe.
Did you do the whole movement with it, or no? Was it?
No, it was just.
If you did, that would be fucking.
Hey, Macarena.
Do you know when like someone like has a playlist?
Yeah.
And then they kind of forget that there might be a song on it that shouldn't be there. The Macarena was that one.
Gotcha.
Well, I did actually have sex in the Macarena, and I laughed my entire way through it. And then we found out that giggling during sex is probably one of the best things a woman can do for a bloke. Try it. Trust me, it works. Because your body, a female body will contract while it's happening.
Yeah.
And it basically just squeezes.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. Nostalgia and sex education. While we eat pizza.
Well,
another point.
Thank you.
Yeah. There you go.
Although I actually will say so, I think that the only song that real cringeworthy song that I ever really hear is Last Resort, because it just brings back just painful memories.
Yeah. So if we're talking about like something that's popping in my head about nostalgia, right? For foods, okay. So we all love Chewits in this house, I presume. We all a Chewits fan, yeah. Chewits, yeah.
I like to chew
the Chewits, right? That was one, but I always have a kind of associated memory whenever going down to visit family in Kilkenny that there used to be like an proper old school sweet shop, right? And it's the only place I can remember ever being able to get the ice cream Chewits.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Holy
remember
shit.
ice cream Chewits?
That's going back fucking
That is
hell.
really, that is
Ice cream Chewits.
That's
They are genuinely one of the nicest. While we're here, right? You can also get that. What about the Mars Delights?
Do you remember the Mars Delight? They fucked the world over when they fuck you, Nestle. You took Nestle Cadbury's.
Nestle.
Fuck you, Nestle. That was the greatest bar you ever had, and you took it away from us. And you didn't even warn us it was happening.
No.
I would stockpile that shit until the end of time.
Cadbury Dream, white chocolate.
You can still get that.
Yeah, you can still get that, but
Australia.
just it's very for Australia has it.
I order it from Galway. I order from
We
Candyland.
get them from.
Another actually one. I tell you a game that actually makes me really nostalgic. Right, it was an arcade game. It was not Outrun. It was something very similar. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's very similar to Outrun. Right, there's a pub you used to go to on the Nace Road called the Black Church. You can pass it every now and then. If you're going down to Kildare, you'll pass it. Right, it's like a shell now, but it was actually quite a nice pub if you're on the way down to something way back. Get your food, whatever it is. But I never remember the food. It was always the arcade I went to. And there's one game there that is literally it's an Outrun type of game, but you're shooting at the same time. So it's a combination of two. I don't know what the name of the game is, but just that game, if I ever found it again, I would be back being 6 years old, not knowing how to play that fucking thing.
There is a game in Token. I'm just going to annoy me because I can't think of the name of it, right? But you could pick. This was my fucking favourite game. It was on the Sega. I had it on the Sega. I did. Sega Mega Drive, the black Sega. Right? Stone of Time? No. Anyway, you could pick 3 characters. One was a troll, one was a bloke, and one was a girl, right? You'd go through the levels. It used to be
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe! That was my fucking favourite. That and after Sonic, that was my favourite game on the Sega Mega Drive. Golden Axe was fucking... I remember when we went to Token, and I saw it there in Token, I was like... Oh! And then I saw Turtles in Time, and I was like... Oh!
I'm like that with Time Crisis 2. Because Token has Time Crisis 2, and I'm 100% convinced it's the same Time Crisis 2 that was in DIT Kevin Street.
I'm nearly sure they are.
Because the fucking, the pistol number 2 is fucking broken. And has been broken since we had it in Kevin Street. But, actually... Sorry, I just remembered that we actually jury rigged to that machine in fucking someone was able to kind of jimmy the coin slot thing, so we got unlimited goals on it. Nice. Didn't have to fucking put coins in. It just reminded me as well what I'm feeling nostalgic for fucking with machines. friend of ours.
Wording.
Oh no.
Sorry. Yeah, no wording.
Phrasing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So.
Sorry.
We had a pub quiz machine, right? And we used to hustle for a good few bob on it, until they reset it and took the easy games off it. But you know yourself, it's one of these kind of big kind of tower machines, right? So a friend of ours in college, a fellow called Rish, South African, a bit of a player, have to say that. He's a bit of a ladies' man, fancied himself, let's just say. He had also what's it called, Prince Albert. So he was full of fucking he studs everywhere, right? So he had the genius idea when he realised we went around the back of the machine. It was the machine froze, right?
How did you know he had a Prince Albert?
He told us.
Because he always...
Did he ever show you?
They always fucking tell you.
No, he said he got it years ago for his for one girlfriend, because apparently girl he's going out with insisted on it. But again, Rich, correct me if I'm wrong.
Please don't.
But basically, the machine froze on us one time, and we had to try and find the reset button. Was around the back, and then one of us got a shock when we did it. So basically, there was a piece of the back of the machine was completely static, right? And you get a shock out of it, whatever you're doing. And then Rish, being the ever clever man, decided, I wonder what would happen if I
stuck my dick in it.
Close. He put his metal belt buckle on it, right? So, and then connected the belt buckle to this, and he shocked his dick. He just went, fuck. It's like, what?
Somebody's masochistic.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you are the only person that'll be curious about how that felt. It's a case don't ever fuck with machines. Literally, that is not going to work with you.
I half expected you to just turn around and say there was something wrong behind it, so he went behind it and
I'm going to stick my dick in it. Yeah.
That's what I was expecting.
But,
okay, I take it back. Yeah, your phrasing was very correct.
Yeah.
But for the shocking ending, I'll give you 2 points.
Oh, fuck off on that point.
Well, granted, it wasn't really nostalgic, I'll be honest, but
I've no issue with the points, but don't you fucking dare put a pun in there. You fucking dad.
For the shock value.
Oh my god.
Well, I am a dad, so I'm allowed to do this. So
He is
You
licensed.
have a teenager.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but he's allowed to do that,
No,
jokes.
I'm leading into something.
Right.
You have a teenager, right?
Yes.
So I want you to think right back. How she's
15.
15 now, right? What were you and Anya doing at 15? And does it terrify you that she might be doing the same thing?
That's a very good question.
That's a bit cruel.
Putting the host on the spot. But when I was 15, well, I wasn't with Anya.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't mean. Sorry.
So
I'm sorry. That's it's kind of it's the way it's put is a little bit in fair.
Generational thing, perhaps.
Not even like that, right? So let's look at it this way, right? So when I was 15, sorry, I was drinking in the field.
when I was 15, I was...
And I was smoking weed at that point. He's so bad. And I was smoking weed at that point, right? So what were you or what was Anya doing at 15 that you're like, oh shit, that bitch better not be doing what I did?
Keep in mind, there is an age gap between me and Anya, so she would have been like... So when...
I can't hear you from the toilet. Sorry.
Okay. What was it? Because I'm currently 32 and Anya is 35.
Mm-hmm.
There's at least a 4-year gap anyway. But yeah, back then she was with someone, I don't know, but I wasn't really doing much because I was 15 and I was an idiot.
Yeah.
And
Well, that actually means what idiotic stuff did you get up to?
I mean, like,
that terrifies you that that your daughter might be getting up to.
surprisingly, I don't know because I was very sheltered. I wasn't allowed out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I kind of know how you feel here because I would have been the same boat at 15. So, in a way, like
Were you the oldest child?
I was the
Of
only
your
child.
family? The only child.
The only child.
Only child. Oldest. So you're the test monkey. Essentially, all the rules, all the unknowns.
Yeah. Mm.
So the rules are tighter. Can't do this, can't do that, can't. So that anybody coming up after you, Mike, gets to do whatever they want.
And as
Or
the
the
only
rules are a
child,
lot less.
as the only child, you're not allowed to do anything exciting because you might die.
Yeah.
And we're not having another one, so you're the only one. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah. Like, the only time I would get out is once a week. I'd be down, I'd stay at my friend's house, and more often than not, we'd probably stay in and fucking play video games.
Oh Jesus! I just remembered actually.
And we have hot water again. Yay.
Both.
But yeah, no. So that's actually Kira had I could hear Kira kind of explain to you. So for example, me at 15, right, was drunk on a bottle of Jack Daniels, falling asleep on Malahide Beach.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
I'll go on for this.
The youngest child.
Huh?
That was also what I was saying.
I am the youngest child as well.
I'm the oldest and they're the only children. So
Yeah.
our rules, but from our parents,
Do not apply.
were so different to what you would have experienced.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you here, right? So Damien is the golden child, right? Damien did nothing. Damien never put a toe out of line. Drinking in the field, Damien never did it. Smoked a cigarette, Damien's never done it. Smoked weed, Damien has done it now, but he was in his 30s when he did it.
Yeah,
So they all did it, right? So that was his first time even trying something, right? Paul, the middle child, Paul did anything and everything.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas me, I was a better liar than my brothers. But I wouldn't go drinking. I had a particular group of friends in school that my parents knew.
Yeah.
Who were the nerds in school.
Yeah.
However, the friends that I didn't tell my parents about were the ones that were getting drunk.
Yeah.
So I had a completely different friends group that my mum and dad knew nothing about. So when I said, I'm going to stay over in Emma's house, they had no reason not to believe me because they've met Emma. They know Emma's a dry shite. I'm so sorry. But you were a pain in the arse as well. Right? However, I'd be going off to meet Sean and Debbie and the rest of the group and we'd all be getting pissed in the field.
Yeah.
So this is kind of where it kind of comes down. I was much better at keeping those separate lives away from my parents. And it wasn't until my 21st when my mum and dad were like, who are these people actually that we're inviting? I've never met these friends before.
Yeah.
That I had to come clean to my mum. Oh, I've got like 5 different friends groups that you know nothing about. Those are the ones I get high with. Those are the ones I drink with. You don't want. And then I remember at one of them I was like, oh, we're not inviting any of these people. Jesus. And my brothers were like, those are the ones she's had sex with.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, that's where it was. And my parents were disgusted. No, and they weren't disgusted in me because it was kind of like, well, she was responsible to an extent.
Yeah.
But they were more disgusted in the fact of themselves that they were like, I had no idea. Bitch, I could have been a fucking superhero. I could have been an Avenger.
Yeah.
I had that good of a fucking double life. I had that good of a fucking double life.
Was it on the topic of scary nostalgia, right? Now I think I mentioned to you. You want to go there? So when I think I mentioned to you, Kira. I don't know who I was saying to today, right? Shh. Wait.
Oh, you.
That was what we're waiting for.
That was a good one.
We were talking about something like that.
Say what?
Point for Pop.
I'm a lot less than Amy is.
You're around there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so on the topic, right?
Getting to know
You.
Getting to know all about you.
Well, on the topic of scary nostalgia, right?
I haven't introduced him to the King of yet.
And
That's the King and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the sound of music.
No.
Are you sure that's not what the little
No,
German
King and
kid
I.
sings? Holy shit.
No, that's 16 going on
That's-
17.
sorry,
That's the
yeah,
creepy paedophilic kind of one.
I after watching the pacifier, I'm always gonna just say, yeah, I'm gonna pretend it was a 16-year-old boy.
But yeah, like at 15, I had fuck all. Like I didn't go out. Those
I
that I
didn't get to
did.
go to town on my own until I was 15.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I was
Actually,
about 16 when I started going out to town.
So
Oh, wow.
I got one for you here, right?
Like,
this is like bring it back.
Alright, when it came to when my parents came to mature childhood, they just stopped. No wonder I got away with everything.
Yeah.
Paul
This
was
is
that
what I'm
was
saying. Like Mike got away with everything.
Paul was so much of a disappointment that literally they just gave up on me. That's amazing, Paul, bro. I fucking love you. Thank you so much.
Because like keep in mind that like my parents separated at fucking 12. So
9.
So like basically they like dad wasn't living in the house and didn't particularly care, he didn't. But the fact that like my mom was raising me and she was super fucking like paranoid anyway to begin with. Like this was while he was still living there, like I wasn't allowed out. So and the times that I did go out, I'd either get beaten up or bullied or something happened. So that kind of took that out of the equation. Like took years before I actually started like going out of the house. Not even like out, literally just to the fucking garden to try and fucking play.
I've said this before. My life started when I went to college,
So
and even though I said my social life actually didn't kick in until I actually had a job.
it wasn't.
Like I'm actually going out more now than I did when I was younger.
Like it wasn't until I was like 15.
I didn't. To be fair, I think I've done enough drinking for everyone in this room.
Probably did.
Yeah.
To actually have given you all memories.
Yeah.
Like,
So if you just want, I'll tell you stories you can pass off as your own.
don't get me wrong. Like for like
You want sex in the graveyard? I'll happily pass that one on to somebody.
Great, man.
Damn it.
that'd be
I'm going to hell
interesting.
for
But
that
like
Just Paul Bear going, oh shit!
I do believe there was a Paul
Like-
Bearer impression of.
Not intentionally though.
Not
but yeah, like it's like what yeah, 14 had sex. 15 didn't have any for years after that,
Oh my god.
and then it's basically open.
I think only two of us can answer this question.
It's basically opening the floodgates, and then you've no way of fucking like
Stopping it.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm under the assumption that only two of us will answer it. Not be able, but will answer this question.
Yeah.
How long after your first time did you go again?
That was a few years.
Few years.
Yeah.
Okay. My first time was such a whopper of a disappointment that I assumed all sex was going to be like that, so I waited until I was in my 20s, and then I made up for lost time.
That's fair enough though, because I think a lot of people probably have that same pattern as well.
Honest to God,
Yeah.
it was the most. It was literally like thrust done, and I was like still lying there and like, that's it. Wow, I do not see what the big deal is. And I hate after, and I just wasn't into it at all after that. So I say 20, so that actually is a lie. So I would have been, I think, so that would have been around 15. So I think it was 17. Then
I think
when
it was
I
when I
had
was
it.
17.
Yeah.
It happened again.
So yeah, so I would have waited. I think it was like 2-year period, and then it went again, and then I found someone who knew what they were doing, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is it's all about, and then that's after that. I was like,
whoa,
it's a whole new world.
oh,
just rub the magic lamp in your hair.
It was a new fantastic point of view, and there was no one to tell us now or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. And every turn was a surprise. Every turn of his tongue was a surprise.
But you mentioned about stupid shit, right? And like this, it's only because we were talking about it earlier on, like during the week, I think it was. But I don't know what your kind of friends groups called it. But do you remember the American Dream?
What, like Dusty Rhodes?
Not Dusty Rhodes.
No, not Dusty Rhodes. No, we called it the American Dream. It's called different things. Some people called it the Indian Dream. Some people called it the Arabic Dream, whatever it was.
I think ours was something like something seconds or something
yeah.
like that.
So the act.
It wasn't when I was in school.
Yeah.
It was Mike's age group.
Yeah.
And younger.
But it would have been my age group, so that to make sense, right? So here's the thing. This will click with you now, or if it happens, which is right with your friend group. It's simple. You take in some big deep breaths, right, and then someone presses against your chest, stops your breathing, and you faint. And basically, when you wake up a couple of seconds later, you describe what kind of hallucination you had.
Never did that in my age group.
No.
That's it was the thing that was going around in the
was a
schools.
craze.
I remember it because I think everybody was brought into an assembly at one point.
Yeah.
Never heard of this.
No,
I
obviously
remember Mike telling us
came
about it.
like after.
How old is Mike? 31 this year.
So I'm 31 this year as well.
31 on Monday.
Right.
Nope.
So that is
go back not this Monday, next Monday.
okay. So that's literally a year younger than me and Foxy, and neither me or him have ever heard of this.
Yeah, but like I was only explaining to Kieran, I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Pockets of people started doing it.
Yeah.
And
I
think the guards.
Age wise, how old would this have been?
I would have been.
I actually think it was the year is younger than Mike as well. I think
yes.
Mike was pulled in.
I need to know what age they would have been when this was a thing.
Because I'm trying to think, like, I would have been the eldest kid around and going like, "Dad, this is fucking stupid. Don't do it."
Because chances are I was doing drugs at this point,
right?
Which is why I wouldn't have known about it.
Fair, but like
so that's why I need to know what age is where.
Yeah, if I was maybe, I could have been maybe 12, 13, 14, and then the people doing it.
We were into cutting ourselves at that point.
Ah, well, that's okay.
There we go, right.
That's a separate issue, but.
Right.
Yeah.
But that being said, that's the thing. So the actual act.
That's I know. It's like okay. So
well, I didn't want to bring in
2009.
Oh no, that's a choking game. Oh, hold on, no, sorry.
No, that isn't.
Hold on.
No, that's very close to it because.
I played the choking game in college.
2009, 13-year-old, yeah, American Dream.
Was it called American Dream? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so in
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
So you would have been 18.
Mike was 19.
I would have been 19.
Okay, no, this is before then. This is a couple of years before that then.
So Mike was 18. So Mike was in 6th year. So it was the first, second years.
I remember
being
in
So
so this is something that would have been around when we were 18, but 13-year-olds were doing it.
Yeah.
No, I remember.
Then this is definitely why we wouldn't have been doing it, and
Yeah.
I would not have been cutting myself at this point.
I remember being
bending
younger when this
over,
happened.
trying to induce hyperventilation by taking big deep breaths, followed by someone giving them a bear hug.
Yes, that's it. You basically stop oxygen going to the brain.
As a tingling and floating feeling in her words.
What the fuck is wrong with 13-year-olds?
Oh, they were insane. It was weird because it was the act. It was like you take those kind of you pump the oxygen into the brain. You stop the cup. And then basically you faint because your brain's going, where's my air going?
We came back again then in 2013.
No,
yeah.
Okay, this is a fucking very, very quickly while we're actually on recording saying this. Don't fucking try this kind of crap.
No, do not.
Here, stop searching it.
Yeah.
But that's the kids have died because of this.
So choking game, American Dream, Indian Dream, Space Monkey.
What? Space Monkey?
Yeah, you see,
it's like the fucking Tide Pod craze, basically.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you weirdos eating Tide Pods?
But that's what I'm saying. This has happened in cycles because like
fuck you, Gen Z.
Jinx
that is Gen Z.
Because you got the article there from 2009. I'm nearly sure that was around a couple of years before that, like 05, 04. Because I would have been younger when this was going around.
Alright, so even if looking at 05 then 04, so I would have been a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
14, 15 at that time. So 14, 15, I would have been at my emo phase. So I wouldn't have had any time for that bullshit.
No,
I was literally drawing panda eyes on myself.
Yeah.
And cutting myself in the bathroom, like listening to My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
That is not any sway on My Chemical Romance. That's what we thought emo was back in the day.
But that's
I
the thing.
still have a scar on my leg from when I
Yeah.
actually cut myself with
Oh,
a razor
God.
blade, because it wasn't even like I need to do this to myself. It was always more like, why the fuck are people doing this themselves? I
Yeah.
don't understand how people are able to. Oh my god! Why did I do that to myself? That's literally how I went through my cutting self phase by technically, and I accidentally did it loads of times. Like, you'll know this more than blokes will. Like, literally, when you don't realise it's a dull razor, you're shaving your legs. And you're looking, you're like, it's like that scene in Cabin Fever where she just, like, skins her leg. When, like, the skin comes off. It's like, that was literally a teenage girl not understanding you need to throw away a dull razor.
Ouch.
Just on Psychology Today, so those kinds of games have been around since 1950s, or at least the reports of them have been. So they come in and out.
They come in and cycles, yeah.
Fashion.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do them.
Yeah. Because like I said, because this was the act, like, so I remember people on my road doing it, right? And one time the guy clapped so quickly, no one could catch him, so he knocked his head off a fucking rock in the yard. Now, again, I don't know how he didn't get a concussion, but he said he felt fine, he felt great, and he was just describing his fucking hallucination. One guy was describing that he was like picturing a monkey with one foot much bigger than the other, in what could be like the weirdest Freudian thing I've ever heard. But that's the reason why they were doing it, was to see what weird thing their brain would say.
Monkey with trench foot.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Glove for.
But that's the
Imagine with a fucking platform shoe.
Yeah.
Standing there.
One sideshow ball.
Playing football. Just like standing there and just like.
Oh! You want nostalgia? Do you remember that one football that had been...
Nike 90.
Oh my god,
The
this is the
1966.
properly a 90s football that used to... The
leather.
leather had been torn away due to so many...
But
and
the inside was coming out.
And it was fine, but then someone decided to take a free shot and that smacked
Smacked
against
the
your
ball,
face,
yeah.
or it smacked one point of your body. I remember my life would flash before my... Oh my god, those 90s footballs, once they'd hit you, and the smell off them as well. Like, that is just pure...
Yeah. Even that on that point, like there was like just like a couple of years where every kid of the same age was wearing Nike 66 boots, and they were like in trainer form as well. You'll know them when you see them. They're like silver and red. You have like a Nike logo
I think
on
this
them.
might be a boys thing.
It is a totally boys thing, but it was like in this case like it's almost like uniform. Everyone has to wear these. It's like, why? Because Eric Cantona is there. It's like that's great.
Here's add to that the rip-off tracksuit bottoms.
Yes!
They were the greatest things in the world.
The party boy.
Oh my god, that was... Oh, we used to do it at PE. We literally got in so much trouble. Not the girls, the lads did it all the time. The girls, when we did it, we had our shorts on underneath.
I'll give you a good fucking...
Oh,
I'll give you a good one. So, now,
Jack
unfortunately,
himself
we will
in
have to
nostalgia.
blur this one because we all know.
name him anyway. We're gonna bleep his name.
I know.
Oh, okay. That's
your
you know what makes it worse? I should have known.
Okay. Okay. We won't so the rule is anyone who doesn't deserve to be cancelled will not be cancelled. So we'll bleep his name out.
No, you
Well,
don't deserve it.
No.
Kids are probably like, Dad, what the fuck?
On his last day of fucking secondary school, he did it. This is not a joke. He legitimately did this on his last day. Fucking just like rip off fucking jeans with the fucking like the leopard print like fucking thing all around his fucking school.
Yeah. We had a street.
With the music playing. Someone had the music playing.
20 points to Foxy.
Yeah. I think Foxy might just won his own round.
I agreed with the lads from the football team.
Oh.
Red G-strings.
Oh my god.
We had a streaker for our
Ran through
final
the
day
whole-
at the castle.
Although I think my favourite thing ever to have happened was on one of the non-uniform days in our last year. So of course Matrix had been out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
One of the lads came in dressed as Neo. The other guy dressed as Mr. Smith.
That sounds like a school shooting waiting to happen. I'm just
With
gonna say that.
water
Columbine.
guns.
Oh god.
And ran around the whole school. They didn't go to a single class. They ran through classes, in one door, out the fire door, because there were fire doors in our school that don't trip off because they actually lead to just other classrooms.
We had those as well.
Because schools get added onto when the town decides to explode in population.
Yeah.
So yeah, they ran around the whole school just.
Oh, I'm just thinking now back to school pranks that we did. So the way the 6 years worked, in our year, so it was always the 6 years would get away with a prank a year.
Yeah.
Because it was their last year. And at that point, there was no point in punishing them because what's the point?
What's the
There's
point?
no way
Yeah.
they're going to be gone. So one year, they locked the teachers in the staff room area.
Yeah.
And the teachers were chuffed to bits. Because they didn't have to go to class and they were like, we're still getting paid, we don't care. We used bike locks. The first year, so they used bike locks for that one. The following, so that was when I was in first year. When I was in second year, the 6 years let off a load of crickets inside the school. And for 8 months, we were still finding crickets. 8 months later, they'd been gone. School holidays had been and gone,
Yeah,
and we were still
like
finding crickets. They were in lockers.
Yeah.
Like, they were everywhere. And every time someone heard a cricket, a teacher would be like, shh, find it. Find that fucking cricket.
PTSD
right?
for fucking
So
crickets.
that was when we were second year. When we were in third year, they flooded the school. They put tissue paper in all the sinks. In every single bathroom. They turned on the taps and there was flooding
We've had
to the
stink
schools.
bombs.
Right?
Stink bombs is a common one.
We've had that. We had that throughout the year from everyone, right? So that wasn't a thing,
Yeah.
right? So that was third year. Fourth year, they were quite nice about it. They put a sign outside the school, and they took a load of Father Ted quotes,
Love it.
and they had them posted all around the school.
I had my
Right.
fun, and that's all that matters.
So that's pretty much kind of what it was. It was like a lot of Father Finton things, right? That was when we were fourth year. When we were in fifth year, someone brought chickens to the school. Right? And they let the chickens loose on the school. Right? And they told someone there's 8 chickens loose in the school. We only ever found 6 chickens.
2 were brought home.
2 were never brought to begin with. There was only ever 6 chickens. It was
It's just
to fuck with the teachers to figure out where these other 2
I've
chickens
heard
were.
about that with pigs. Except they numbered them from 1 to 20, but
Yeah.
numbers 8, 12,
Yeah,
and
a lot.
15
Yeah,
and
it's a
7.
great. It's basically a great way to fuck with people just afterwards. And then it came to our year, and what we were going to do as a 6th year prank. Now, again, an awful lot of us at this point, we did not really give a shit about doing something like this. However, there was certain teachers that we didn't like. So we decided if we're going to do any type of prank, we're just going to single out certain teachers and prank them. So one teacher constantly left her window open in her car. Fuck it, we'll flood her car. Now, I did not have anything to do with this one, but she got what she deserved because she was arrested the following year for stalking her neighbour. Right? So she got what she deserved, right? If anything, we did the neighbour a favour by delaying her from going home. One of them as well, we completely took... we changed the classroom around, sort of thing. Like, we literally removed all the Irish from the classroom. We turned it into a French classroom.
Yeah.
She was a wanker as well. She hit the bottle quite hard. Not because of us, just in general.
Because teaching Irish, yeah, fair.
Teaching Irish, I'm not surprised. And then there was the French teacher, who, God bless his heart, he did not deserve what he got. But we, basically, every time he would sit on his chair, he'd be hit with a fart noise, so to speak. And that was how they got every teacher then afterwards. So it wasn't a school prank, so to speak. So other years were pissed.
Yeah.
Because there was no disruption to 5th years or 4th years. They had no disruption. They were able to go about their day as normal. But the teachers were stuck on high alerts. Because they realised we weren't targeting the school, we were targeting them. And I'm very, very proud to say this, but the principal quit after us. He lasted 6 years in the school, and he actually said at our graduation, you were the worst group I have ever had to deal with. Through 1st through 6th year, to the extent where I am not coming back next year. And it was the greatest moment of all time, because he was a wanker, who I'm nearly sure he touched up to the students. So fuck you. And he left.
So how many points for that, Foxy?
We outed a pedophile.
Which is pretty nostalgic, all things considered.
So our year went on strike against the pedophile.
Huh?
So our Irish teachers in 5th and 6th year, the first one, I'm pretty sure she had a depression.
She's an Irish teacher, of course she fucking did.
Wow.
So we didn't get taught half of anything that we, like, there was no novel, there was no poem.
I think that's general across the board. Like any
Yeah.
Irish teacher, they just don't bother.
I've never met a happy Irish
in
teacher.
6th year, the Irish teacher's like, well, you should have already known this and this, so I'm not teaching you it. And we're like...
That's a failure on her part.
Not,
Yeah,
but it's also not our fault, so why are you punishing us? But to the point, like, he was creepy. he would stand behind all of the girls, like to the point where in the chairs, like his hips would be like there.
Oh.
Like,
no.
yeah, exactly.
I think my third class teacher was a pedophile. Now that you're mentioning this.
Like it'd be the hand.
Oh my god! I think my third class teacher was a pedophile. He did gymnastics and he only let the girls do it.
Red flag.
Mike came to
Oh my god! I think I have a repressed memory.
Because Mike was in first year when I was in sixth year, and he was like, I'm pretty sure he dropped a pen in order to look up one of the girls' skirts during an exam. And at this point, we were fed up, but they forgot to tell me. So on Tuesdays we started late, and like I knew we were going to protest against them. I didn't know what was happening on the Tuesday. So on Tuesdays, Irish was first, and I was at student council, which ran late. I wasn't late.
I love it. I was at the school bank.
That's very fucking fancy.
Do you know what's really funny though? Just thinking, I was at the school bank and I also had now literally a financial advisor.
But yeah, the
Amy's
girls,
an adult.
the girls didn't tell me. So I arrived into Irish class and there was no girls, only the boys, and of which there were only 4 in higher Irish.
You did higher level Irish as well.
I did.
I stand by my.
I did everything higher level.
I stand by my nerd comments because I did not take any higher level subjects.
I was playing the points.
I did not take any higher level subjects until 6th year.
I did everything higher level in my place.
I did 8 subjects and I did all higher level except maths. Because I did.
Higher level maths is a
English,
cunt in
Irish
fairness.
maths, biology, chemistry, French, music, and Japanese.
Right. So.
You got the choice of Japanese. You look at
It's
you.
an extra subject.
My
elective.
TY
You can
was
take it as an
the year.
elective.
TY was the year of the World Cup in Japan, so we did a module. We had a Japanese teacher come in for the year,
That would've been
and essentially got the choice. You want to keep Japanese, so every Saturday for 2 years, I got on the bus, got myself over to Rathmines from Ashburn for 2 hours a week, and then did courses during Easter as prep for exams. I know, I am a nerd. It's okay.
And I love you for that.
I'm a language
For 2
nerd.
hours, like that's a...
So
Yeah. And then we go to McDonald's afterwards.
I'm trying to think actually, right? So you had the late start. So I'm just trying to think, right? My subjects were I did economics. I did higher level I did higher level business and I did higher level economics. And the reason why I did higher level business for my junior cert is because if I didn't, I would not be able to do economics in 5th year. Right, so I had to, right? So I went through 3 years of doing an ordinary level subject, and then when the exam came, higher level paper, please. And I just had to pray that I passed it. So I studied everything as a lower level subject, but when it came to the actual exam, that was when I decided what one was I going to attempt. Right? And it worked out for me very well because I did get into Trinity. So
there you go, yeah.
It worked out really well to my advantage, right? So I might not have been an excellent student, but I was at that time I was very good at retaining information. And but I did that, right? So I did for my leaving cert, I did higher level economics, I did higher level business or higher level biology, I did higher level French, which I should have dropped down. Right, because that actually dragged me down significantly. Higher level English, higher level maths, which I also should have dropped down. I did ordinary level Irish. I'm missing a subject. We had to do religion. I didn't do geography. I dropped geography as a subject altogether. I kept history. I did higher level history. Obviously, I did higher level history. And I can't remember what other subject it was. There was one other subject that I did. But the only 2 ordinary level ones that I did was Irish and maths. Were the only ordinary level subject I did. But I'd been studying ordinary level throughout the entire 2 years, so I actually hadn't been given the full syllabus to do higher level subjects. And I went off and I got high before my higher level thing, before the English exam. And then I picked a higher level paper, and the English teacher was so impressed with what I did. He was quite disappointed that he didn't do higher level with me to begin with. Poetry is so much more
potent,
clear to you when you're high and stoned.
Okay.
I also had the guidance counsellor discuss my short story with me.
Oh,
I did it
yeah,
about a family of cannibals.
Yes.
I did a crime story about a family of cannibals where he's like, oh, you need to include this one line in your story. And the line was, we need to get back and think this through. And I did a full story. It was like an episode of NCIS.
So,
Criminal Minds even. It was
there's more Criminal Minds.
It basically could have been an episode of Criminal Minds I had done just with my own characters, but it was a very good story.
So
it got me an A1 in higher level English.
As we get close to wrapping up, I'll leave you with two stories. So one is not my own, it's Conscience.
Okay.
I love Conscience. Oh, bless.
So for his English, like one of his exams, they were told create a story, and now Conscience he wasn't the most patient person.
No fucking way.
I'm personally shocked to hear that.
Never met the man face to face, but holy shit.
But regardless,
I digress.
I do digress. He passed this exam because of his story, and when he told me what the story was, I could not believe that he actually passed.
What was the story?
He literally just took the entire plot line to fucking Halo.
Brilliant. Because of course the character probably doesn't know what Halo is.
Exactly. That's why he fucking passed.
That's to be honest with you, actually, that is a top tip for students nowadays. If you have a particular game that is quite obscure for the time,
obscure,
in a sense,
enough detail.
You will literally be able to like realistically, like when I think back what my story was, it was an episode of Criminal Minds crossed with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's literally what my story was.
I remember my one was like a hostage situation at like
the Negotiator,
a futuristic GPO, because at the time I was watching 24 and I was like interested in tense writing.
Honest to God, that's what I mean. Like,
it was just what you were absorbing at the time.
Yeah,
which makes sense for English.
I'm nearly sure. I think I did. We had like a thing where you had to write a poem, and I think I'm pretty sure I plagiarized a poem from the TV show As Told by Ginger.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember that show, As Told by Ginger?
I do. I remember. I just
right. There was an episode where Ginger literally did a poem about a girl having a bad day, a sad day, and I literally near enough I didn't take the exact poem.
Yeah.
But I did an idea for it, on it, and my teacher was like, "That's amazing."
Yeah.
They were well impressed by the whole thing, and in my head I was thinking, that's literally from a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, you can get away with as much shit as possible as long as you put your own spin on it.
Yeah.
You're golden.
I know exactly how you feel, because I went on a...
Do you have a toothpick?
I do have a toothpick, yeah.
Do you have an extra toothpick?
I have an extra, yeah.
I have a fucking... I think I have something stuck in my tooth.
Well, I went on a writing course when I was out of college because I wanted to actually become a writer. You know?
Hand her the packet.
It's alright, he didn't touch this.
Didn't touch this side, yeah. But I went on a writing course when I was out of college because I wanted to actually, get into...
Such a blow.
Learn how to write.
Learn how to write, and it's a skill I've never used since. But
no fucking way. I'm still waiting on that fucking writer.
I know.
Yeah.
I never said I was a good writer. I never said I was an efficient writer. But
you're fucking George R. Martin.
Yeah.
You'll be there when I'm ready.
Yeah. Fucking pretty much.
Ready when I'm dead.
But the thing was that it was run by the guy who is one of the directors of Fair City, right? So he had and he'd done different kind of works since. But he wasn't he knew his way around TV writing, which was the actual course, is how do you write a screenplay essentially for TV, the formatting and all that sort of stuff, right? So one of the kind of exercises he wanted us to kind of write a scene. So I said, I'll copy and paste something I've done already. And that was fine, and he loved it and thought I like your characterization, you've all got character languages. Yes, I understand all these terms. But granted, the group that was there were not comedians, Now actually that's not true. I know one person that was there is currently on RT, and I can't remember her name for Love and Money. She one of those kind of ones that plays a character. I can't remember her name for Love and Money, but I'll know her by face. And she was even workshopping a similar type to this character at the time. The rest of them were someone who was clearly a TV person already and was trying to get back into it. You had one guy who was trying to be the dark comedy, but was genuinely just a bit fucked up. And there's a guy who was a civil servant for 30 years, and he wanted to make caricatures of all the people he hated in government. It's okay, grand. I think
that's actually how you do it, safely, and not take a gun to.
Fucking pretty much, yeah. It was actually a more sterilized version of it. But the thing was that I had made up we had to do kind of a quick scene on the spot type of deal. And I remember reading, there was a novel I read called Mogworld, right? and it was literally from a guy I used to like his reviews of online. And he was basically, the idea was that it was a novel told from the point of view of an NPC of a video game gone self-aware. So like if you have like if you're like a
Free Guy.
It's what Free Guy is not necessarily based on, but it's the same idea, it's the same premise, but done in like a fantasy realm with like a guy who's like meant to be dead, but he was brought back to life and he shouldn't be. Anyway, so the idea was that it's someone. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way of doing it. But the joke was basically the whole scene was meant to be juxtaposition, right? So I had basically a contemporary guy stuck in a medieval area, right? And he's like part of all these kind of like other sorcerers. But the joke is that they're not actually sorcerers. They just have technology. They have like TVs and phones and shit like that. And the actual feudal like town thinks they're all wizards and scary fucking people because like.
Sorry, I'm a little bit lost here. Who wrote this?
Me.
Okay.
Me, baby.
That makes a little bit more sense now.
You know, but the joke was that like, you know, like all these other sorcerers had grand names like Odysseus and Aloysius and all this, and this one was called Dave. So the joke was just like
Decius, Perseus, Theseus, Ladiosus,
Kevin.
But the joke was like kind of like, you know, they're talking.
Phil.
But some of them were kind of talking in very kind of flowery like medieval language, going like, "Oh yes, of course, you know, we must absolutely save the townspeople." And then like the grand, so the one that was just referred to as the
We're
grand.
out and about again there for 12.
But like one of them just referred to it as the Grand Master, and it's just like, yes, we must get there before sundown. Yes, of course, my favorite TV show is on at that time. It's like, well, okay, fair enough, you know, and it's just everything's just so kind of jarring to the point where like. I actually can't tell where the juxtaposition is. And they loved that. They thought it was hilarious. They wanted me to do more.
I know this is going to be the last one I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
I know we need to finish up. When we were in transition year, they used to bring a group in, and it was called Action Track.
Okay.
And you have a week to like write your own play.
Ah.
Right. So the first day you do your introductions, and you're all put into your groups, and then the second day you learn, you basically start to write your script, and then day 3 is you have to write songs to go into this. Day 4 you have to figure out who's going to do the songs, and you do a quick run through, and then day 5 is the day you perform the show in front of everyone.
Oh, fuck that.
Right, so you have 5 days to do the whole thing, right? So you do basically the whole workshop. And we did ours, was set at a bowling competition, and it was
So Kingpin?
No, not even like that. It was like literally we just picked the setting was a bowling alley.
Okay.
So during it's like someone had literally bowling alley. Okay, and then it was like okay, so if we basically do like okay, so it's team bowling.
Yeah.
And what's on the line was the deeds to the town. Right, there was one particular Norma Johnson who was currently the mayor. She literally wanted to destroy the entire town and build a shopping centre. Sort of thing, like it was really very kind of like stupid the whole thing, but
very teen drama. I've learned. I'm kind of getting into this.
Oh, it gets better. It was set under the sea. They were all fish. Everyone was fish when they were doing this, right?
Were you watching SpongeBob at the time?
We were very high on SpongeBob at the time. We were, but again, this is 2014 to 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
No, 2005, 2006, sorry.
Yeah,
so, like, we would have been, SpongeBob.
This would have been peak.
Yeah, this would have been peak SpongeBob. So we set it under the sea. And at one point in it, there was a character that we had who was Kevin. Character named Kevin, who constantly plagiarized everything.
Oh, I love it.
Right? And the character, at one point, Kevin had a dream that one day all would be created equal. And he started going into the Martin Luther King speech, and then all of a sudden another one, I can't remember, I think it was like Dara played the part, he just kind of went, "Get the fuck off stage right now, Kevin." And Kevin's like, "No, I have it. Go." And Carl, who was playing Kevin, just kind of drops his head and walked off stage. And someone went, "It's about time someone called him out on all this bullshit." And that was a line in the script, it was about time someone called him out on all this bullshit. And then every time Kevin had to come back in onto stage, another character would be like, "No! Go." Unless it's your own thought, you are not allowed to come back out here and talk to these people. And Kevin would be like, "Okay." And he'd walk off.
I love that.
And then eventually at the end of it, we gave Kevin his own song, which was a very well written song that went into Nothing Else Matters. So
He started off. That's great. I love that.
He starts off to doing his own original song, only to end as soon as it starts and it gets to the chorus, and then and then all of a sudden out of nowhere he goes, "No closer, no matter how far," and then the lads started playing Metallica.
Yeah.
And then everyone walked out onto the stage and we're just like, you had one job.
Yeah.
You had one job. Go wait in the back, Kevin. And then that was it. And then nothing else matters.
No.
And then he just walked off, and that was the end of it. And he played it so fucking well that at the end of the year, when they were giving out like awards and stuff like that, we used to give out like nearly everyone used to get their academic endeavour award, right?
Yeah.
That was basically like the well done for fucking turning up on the day kind of award, and they end deciding it was like actor of the year because. Every year we did do shows at the end of every year, and it was like this is like the normal kind of school plays that you would do, like everyone does like West Side Story and all that kind of shit. And then that year, Carl won the award for best actor for his role as Kevin in the whole thing.
I already love Kevin,
right? And what made it even better was when he was doing his acceptance speech. He went, "You love me. You
really love me."
No, he goes, "You like me. You really like me." And someone in our year stood up and went, "Sally Fields, get the fuck off the stage!" And it was just perfect. He fucking held on to that for the entire rest of his school year. Like, he kept that persona up the whole thing. He literally he played into it so well that, like, anytime we were doing school, like, shows, the teacher, Mr. Noonan, he's fucking best. He was the drama teacher. He used to always, if it was an original play, he used to always like, "I'm going to bring Kevin back."
Just have him as a reoccurring character.
Have him as a reoccurring
That's great.
character
I love
in
that.
plays where he would literally just rip off something else.
Yeah.
And no one would cop it until the end. And I think he did the Martin Luther King one before.
Yeah.
He did it again at the end of one of our original plays, which was done. It was like set in the 80s. It was called Back to the 80s, the play was. And it was like a semi-original play that you could, like, someone else had written it, but you could all act it out.
Yeah,
Like, I have a dream that one day all will be created equal. And one of the other characters goes, "I've heard a dream like that before." And they just look at it and Kevin just goes, "I'll get my coat." and he just walked. That was the end.
No,
that was the only scene he had in the entire
great.
play. And
that's a great callback,
pissed themselves laughing.
Yeah.
Like, all of us, because we were in transition at the time, we all lost our shit because we knew what it was about.
Yeah.
But because the fast show would have been a thing.
Yes.
As well at the time.
Fast show
so,
was very
like,
popular,
adults had gotten the joke because they thought it was like, oh, he's doing Martin Luther King. They didn't know, it didn't call back to them that it was a character from a play from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was just, he's ripping off Martin Luther King and he's doing a fast show, and then that was the end. And everyone was like, "Carl's top notch job."
I love the power of in-jokes there, because myself and Adam have one that comes back from college. And if you ever hear either one of us saying, "Well, that was mildly unpleasant," that's what it is, right? We literally came up with the idea when we were like, we were already paying attention in class, but during this class, we came up with the idea of a 4-panel webcomic. Just like pure crystallized comedy. Picture of a swan, right? Bo comes in, bonks the swan on the head, pops back up and goes, "Well, that was mildly unpleasant." And the title card comes up, CSI, Canal Swan Immersion. But the idea was, the whole joke of it was that the guy in the boat was Horatio Caine. Right? That's why the title comes up, CSI,
that works, yeah,
Canal Swan Immersion.
I like that.
Very good, very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Foxy.
You have a winner?
We've gone on longer than I anticipated.
Yeah. I was enjoying that though. I love that.
But we were playing.
That's why it's finally on the record.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a lot of
There was a lot on the record there.
A lot on the record. We took a dive into people's histories there.
That's what nostalgia is.
bit more than expected, but yeah.
Never listen to Last Resort the same way again.
True.
Do you remember it came on that day in the car and I had to turn it off?
Like, nope.
Yeah. Ali was like, "I like that song, we're not listening to it."
Meanwhile, I'm trying not to piss myself laughing.
Yeah.
The story,
Because I was driving and,
There definitely is a winner. And there was a lot of points given out, points taken away.
We got points taken away. How did I miss this?
Oh, you were getting the pizza.
You were getting the pizza.
And it was mostly me, so, you know.
To be fair.
Yeah, you thought you were winning?
I had no chance, no.
I'm really... I fully believe
Don't get me wrong.
I fully believe John.
Like, at one point, John, points were taken off him. Points were taken off Amy as well at one point during this.
do?
Yeah. What didn't she do?
I think that could have been the last resort.
I've
I was
ruined.
here for that bit.
I've ruined a few songs, but nah.
Points were taken away, points were given, points were also given back, and the winner is Amy.
Cut my life into pieces.
Sings it out.
I actually can't.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Yeah, she gets about 3 words out of it.
Yeah.
I honestly, God, that when you listen to that song, that was a last resort. Like, thank you.
That and also the fact that, like, for copyright reasons, we can't sing
No!
the song.
I can sing the song without being doing on a copyright as if I was playing it.
It was
You
you're
can
playing
do
it, yes.
You're doing your own version of it.
Oh,
Yeah, because it is your
version.
own version.
Yeah, it's my own version of
It's
it.
your own property,
Fair
yeah.
enough. So,
Yeah.
loopholes. Yay.
Yay!
Oh, excuse me.
Loopholes and everything.
That's a burp hole.
That was a burp.
So,
That was
yeah.
a burp hole,
So, Amy is the winner of the first episode.
yeah. Woo!
Finally, on the record. On the record books. Thanks, Foxy.
Which
That means I'm hosting next
Yeah.
episode.
You are, yeah.
So, very quickly, are you happy for us to continue this
Yes.
as a series?
Absolutely.
And you're happy to
Be here in the
be
room.
here for the next
Although you contributed as
You
well.
did
so, like,
contribute a
You
fair
got
bit
a few
to it.
points in, actually,
Yeah.
yeah. If you were here for
So,
the entire
many
thing.
points.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious now, so that means I get to pick the next topic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now, does that depend on who's here?
Yes.
That does depend.
It
on
is
who's
going to
here.
depend on who's here, which means we won't be telling you what the topic is. So
Mm.
it's going to depend
Oh, no.
on the day.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you're around, I think I actually might have an idea of one that I can do.
Oh God.
But that will be for.
That's for a
The next
later date,
episode.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, for now,
Do you want to give
We
us our
terrorized
outro?
over.
I'm gonna have to do.
You're going to do the outro.
You have to, yes,
I'm
yeah.
still the host.
You're still the host.
You're the hostess with the mostest.
And then you can officially like pass the baton over to
You
Amy.
check if you said the mostest.
No, but
Like,
like
just make sure I have the mostest.
this has been the first episode of Finally on the
Yeah,
Record
mostest.
on the Nerds Us channel on
Yeah,
YouTube.
sorry.
And if you do like it, please let us know down below what made you nostalgic, and maybe give that like button a smash it.
You're saying smash it as I'm making my tits dance.
See, I'm looking here. I'm looking at this camera. I'm addressing
I'm
our
like-
audience.
Meanwhile, I'm like, look at that Duff beer go.
Duff Tits. Oh yeah.
Duff man, can't breathe. Ooh,
Well,
yeah.
I can see why. He's
Smash
fucking
like
stuck in
for tits, and comment for tits, and yeah, share for tits. There you go. We'll
I
see
got
you again.
your tits.
Bye. That is the outro. Bye.
Comment for tits.
Bye.